I'm here today with Linda Ramsay, a local LBI artist, in the first of our Meet the Artist series. So how did Linda get started?
I've been painting since I actually took oil painting lessons when I was 10. And my father painted, not professionally, but as a hobby. And my uncle was an architectural draftsman in Philadelphia, so I guess I inherited something, but I've always drawn, even when I was a little kid, I was always drawing. My themes for the most part are the wetlands, the bay. You know, we face like a channel and wetlands, and it's constantly changing. And so when you live someplace all the time, you really notice the change in the light and the shadows, the different wildlife, the reflection on the water. I don't think you do it as an artist. It just kind of goes in, and then it comes out in your paintings, you know, without even really thinking about it. I like to paint outside, plein air painting, and I teach a couple courses in that. And you know, that's a kind of a different painting as opposed to painting. Looking at a photograph doesn't move, but when you're doing plein air, you know, the sun's always changing, there's always shadows, the sun goes out, the clouds come in, so you kind of have to like figure out your darks and lights and work from there right from the start, and not, otherwise you'd be changing the painting all through the whole day. You know, and it's a quick type painting, you know, you're trying to get it done in, you know, a couple hours.
One of the subjects Linda paints quite a bit are bicycles, so I asked her about her painting of the bikes.
You know, you do a lot of landscapes, seascapes and stuff, and I took a picture of a bicycle and down in Barnegat Light, and it was just such a cool, like an old bike, and I like old bikes. I kind of like, I have a collection of old ones. And I just thought, I'm just going to paint a bike and see if people, and I got a really good response. And it sold fairly fast. So then every time I go to a yard sale, or I'm out walking around and you see somebody with an old bike or even a funky, I mean, there's a lot of funky bikes in down the shore where people, you know, they keep them from season to season. So I just take pictures of them and then paint them, you know, at different angles. I kind of like bikes that are not full frontal, just more, you know, at strange angles rather than, and cut off, not just full. I generally will paint from a photograph, but I like to paint outside, plein air, and as far as my bike paintings, I usually take a photograph, because usually it's somebody's bike that I'm taking a photograph with, and they're leaving with it. And a lot of times they'll look at me and like, why are you taking a picture of my bike? And it's, you know, and I tell them I paint bikes. I will teach this year at the foundation in July and August. I'm team teaching. It's like a 9-week course through July and August every Monday. And so besides myself, it'll be Lisa Budd and Franny Andahazy is going to be teaching. It's a brand new course, so I do not know. It's going to be beginners through intermediate. It's kind of open.
Linda, what is it like to teach art, teach painting?
It's challenging, depending, you know, if you have students that are at all different levels. I don't like to tell people how to paint. I think artists have to find their own way, of their own style. I don't take a lot of courses myself, just for that reason. I think for me, it's more of an exploration of your own, of what you want to do, rather than trying to imitate somebody else. So if somebody's teaching, I can give them pointers on to try to make them look at their painting, stand back, look at it, point out some things. But ultimately, I like people to try to figure it out themselves. And so it's not a paint by numbers type of course. It's just give them hints how to paint a sky. You know, I give them hints about what I use, how I do it, and I usually do a demo. So they can look, and then they can pick up those hints, and they can take what they want. I like to let people pick and choose.
Linda, tell me a little bit about the arts community on LBI.
We have a lot of local artists, potters, all different mediums, glass. And we just started an LBI Arts Council. This will be our 3rd year, I believe, nonprofit. And we have meetings. We put on this Open Studio Tour, which has gone on for about 10 years. Started out with a friend of mine, Mary Tantillo, who has a glass studio in Surf City. She started it, and I kind of jumped on board like the 2nd or 3rd year, and then we did it together. Then the foundation did it for a while, and now we do it through the LBI Arts Council.
In the winter months, you can find Linda at the Long Beach Island Foundation for the Arts and Sciences in her studio upstairs overlooking the marsh. Summers she spends in her studio on High Bar Harbor.